the WNBA and Players Association to continue to negotiate in good faith. So this news in itself kind of doesn't change anything. Basically, what's going to happen is the players in the league are going to continue doing what they've been doing. If they made another extension for another 30 days or another 2 weeks or another whatever, it honestly doesn't matter. Until there's a lockout or a strike or an agreement is made, like those are the only times that something really changes in what is currently happening at the moment. And Brianna Stewart actually alluded to this, and
they never wanted this to see the light of day. It was meant to stay buried, hidden in encrypted messages, whispered over secure lines, erased from memory. No cameras, no leaks, no fans ever finding out. But the moment it slipped through, there was no turning back. Because this wasn't just a rumor about trades. This wasn't about who gets minutes. This wasn't even about money. This was about cutting 5 of the most high-profile names tied to the WNBA's 2026 roster, and according to multiple insiders, the choice had already been sealed. No alerts, no press conferences, just one chilling line repeated in hushed tones behind closed doors. Kathy made the call. If you think this is just another splash of league gossip, stay right here, because what comes next will show you why players are erupting in fury, why locker rooms are simmering with tension, and why the WNBA is teetering on the edge of one of the most combustible internal crises in its history.
I think it's crazy that we haven't heard anything about the stuff that the WNBA is already missing, the stuff that the WNBA is already behind on when you talk about the offseason timeline. Last year, by this point in time, we have gotten a full 2025 WNBA schedule, and we have also had the expansion draft for the Golden State Valkyries. This year in the WNBA, there are 2 expansion teams that they need to do a draft for. We have no clue about the season schedule, and everybody has just been super quiet about it. Why isn't the media asking about these things? Why is there no date for the
began in whispers. Late night calls that ended abruptly, emergency meetings with half-finished sentences, executives glancing at each other as if speaking too loudly could shatter everything. Then someone leaked a fragment of a private conversation, just enough to ignite a wildfire. The words didn't say review. They didn't say evaluation. They didn't say discussion. They said cut. 5 players erased from the 2026 blueprint. Erased from the vision for the future. And the moment those words hit the wrong phones, the league's grip on the story evaporated. Agents were the first to react. Phones lit up in relentless waves. Players called one another over and over, repeating the same desperate question. Is this real? Within hours, whispers turned into a storm, private chats, social media feeds, then the mainstream world caught fire. The WNBA remained silent. That silence was a spark in dry grass. It confirmed one terrifying truth. Something monumental had just happened. Insiders say this was not a committee vote. There was no debate. No early warning to player reps. The decision came from the very top. And that is what set off the outrage. Veteran players felt blindsided. Some learned through hushed whispers. Others saw screenshots before a single official word reached them. One source described locker rooms as freezing over with tension. Another said it felt like betrayal because these weren't just any players. They were champions, leaders, faces of the league itself.
Nearly mid-30s. And it says it resulted in 700 million losses over the course of the deal. The union believe that projection is false. Just putting it out there, if it was only 700 millions of losses, this deal would be signed already. And you might be saying, what does that mean? If it was only the owners signing off on this would be signed already. Because you might be saying, oh, WNBA owners don't want to lose money. 700 millions of dollars of losses. There will be, by the end of this deal, there will be 20 WNBA teams. That is $35 million per WNBA team over the course of, I think, 7 years. That is $5 million a year lost per team. While franchise values...
But the first name to break through was Brianna Stewart. Just that one alone sent shockwaves racing through the league. Then came Chelsea Gray, then Alyssa Thomas, then Jewel Lloyd, then Kelsey Plum. Each name struck like lightning, each one adding gasoline to an already raging fire. Fans refused to believe it. Players couldn't accept it. Yet the repetition of whispers made something painfully obvious. This was no accident, and then the question hit like a storm crashing through a window. If this could happen to them, who would be next? Speculation spread like wildfire. Agile Wilson, some whispered. Angel Ree, others muttered. No confirmations. No denials. Just the deafening hum of silence. Behind closed doors, emotions erupted. Players weren't just angry. They felt insulted, betrayed. One insider recalled a veteran saying, "They built this league on our backs, and now they're cutting us like numbers on a spreadsheet." Another added, "This isn't progress. This is punishment."
What Engelbert is alleged to have said to Collier, if she actually suggested Caitlin Clark should be grateful for what she makes off the court, that's preposterous. Did you miss the Iowa years? Clark is the Tiger Woods tide that lifts all boats. And we know this show is proof. The highest rating we have ever had followed one of her games at Iowa. The WNBA has benefited from her presence more than the other way around, even though this year for Caitlin Clark was essentially lost to injury. But it's a league that's at a flashpoint. According to Sportico, franchise valuations have soared. Players want more money and the CBA expires at the end of this month. This was a whole lot more than just a shot across the bow. The WNBA finals begin this Friday, and we typically hear from Adam Silver on the eve of the NBA finals. Kathy Engelbert has got to do...
The anger wasn't about being replaced. It was about the way it was done. No respect. No transparency. No conversation. Just silent decisions, followed by a deafening leak. As the fury spread, league offices reportedly plunged into crisis mode. Emergency calls flew nonstop. Lawyers were drafted in. PR teams rewrote statements again and again, desperately searching for words that wouldn't make the fire worse. But it was too late. The secret was already exposed. Fans started questioning everything. Why now? Why these players? Why behind closed doors? Insiders say this wasn't about on-court performance. It was about control, structure, contracts, finances, long-term flexibility, a complete reset for 2026. Sources claim the league is chasing a new image. Younger faces, different marketing strategies, tighter control over spending. But to the players, the explanation felt like a dagger. You are expendable. And once that message spreads, trust vanishes. Some insiders say conversations are already happening behind the scenes. Nothing public, nothing official. But quiet planning, private meetings, watching the league's every move, players are preparing for what comes next.
Association is making sure that the players have somewhere to work out, but to me, I just feel like this is preparing for possibly the worst. And a lot of people are saying, like, it's fine. The season doesn't start until May. They still have plenty of time. They can still get a deal done. You guys, they don't have a lot of time. There's a lot of things to do during the offseason. And we've also seen, like, I'm sorry to just be blunt about this. We've seen how the WNBA runs. It's not always the most organized organization. Like, they need the extra time. They need the free agency period to get the player signed. They need to do this expansion draft. They need to do the literal WNBA draft. And I thought it was so interesting because the Toronto Tempo tweeted this. They said, "Big things coming your way. A glimpse into our 2026." And it says a snapshot of the year ahead. Schedule release. That should have been done in December. The schedule is normally released in December. WNBA expansion draft. The WNBA expansion draft was done last year, or 2024, I guess, in December of 2024, ahead.
Because this wasn't just about 5 names. This was about power. Who really runs the league? Who gets a voice? Who can vanish without warning? The longer the WNBA stays silent, the louder those questions scream. Sponsors are watching. Media vultures are circling. Former players are speaking in coded messages. Everyone can feel it. The balance has shifted. And insiders warn, if this decision holds, it could redefine the bond between players and the league forever. Once stars believe loyalty is meaningless, everything changes. Negotiations shift. Commitment fractures. The future itself tilts. Right now, the WNBA stands at a crossroads. Double down or retreat. Reverse course or risk fallout that lasts years. No matter what comes next, one truth is undeniable. This leak revealed fractures no one ever wanted seen. And the fury you're hearing about, it's not fading. It's growing. So now, the question lands on you. Was this a necessary shakeup or a catastrophic misstep? Should the league speak or remain silent? Drop your thoughts below. Like this video if players deserve respect. comment your take. Subscribe, because this story is far from over and the next move, it could be even more explosive.